Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And now, my question of today is: what is your number one favorite cryptocurrency? Is it XRP? Is it Bitcoin? Is it something completely else? Let us know in the comment section down below because I'm really interested to see your opinion. And now, the first article today comes from the official Ripple website, and it reads: XRP, a preferred base currency for arbitrage trading. And I got to this article because Ripple posted on their Twitter, what makes XRP a preferred base currency for arbitrage trading? Speed, low transactional costs, and scalability. And by the way, guys, if you are enjoying these daily crypto videos, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. Helps me out a ton and puts a smile on my face. Now, one of the key notes out of this article is this small little highlighted piece right below here. It actually talks about the CV19 period and how transactions are flowing and everybody's been panicking, but one very important line says this: during this time, analysis shows that users began shifting to digital asset XRP for exchange balance transfers. XRP's low transaction fees, reliability, and speed make it ideal for sourcing liquidity in cross-border payments. These same attributes also enable market makers and traders to take advantage of arbitrage opportunities intra-exchange, even in times of market stress. Traders and market makers leverage XRP to quickly service margin calls and manage risk/collateral. Damn, all right, that actually sounds really freaking logical and really freaking good. And here Spring has posted the median cost in this chart here, but mean cost would show more extreme fluctuations and longer recovery periods in Bitcoin and Ethereum cost per transaction. And I've told you guys before why median is for these transactional costs a lot smarter than mean. With median here, you're going to get a more accurate measure of what most people are using. And when you're talking about mean, you're most likely going to include some really crazy people who use a $1,000 transaction fee, getting this number completely up somewhere, making it ridiculously stupid. However, the median will still stay relatively the same. It is not as vulnerable to huge deviations. And in this case here, you can see Ethereum and Bitcoin on the left in the chart and XRP on the right here. The fee is ridiculously low for XRP always. And if you just compare it here, you can see it's how many times? Is it 10,000 times smaller, or maybe 100,000, whatever? You just check it out yourself, 10,000 times smaller. It's ridiculous how cheap XRP is in comparison. And again, guys, it might look like, but purple here is Ethereum and Ethereum is below XRP. Dusty, what's going on? I don't get it. The transaction fee for XRP is higher? No, as I just said, the cost of the black line is on the right, the cost of the purple and orange ones are on the left, and that's how this is built up. And thus, the transaction cost per XRP is just ridiculously low, which supports this story right here. We all know it's fast, we all know it will always work, and low transaction fees out of all of them is just amazing. Now, at first, I wanted to show you guys some tweets as well from just some insights about how many exchanges we've been having and a couple of other exchange partners that came along, like, for example, PayID, whatever it's called. But looking further into this article, we can read it all ourselves. And we're going to read this little part right here because it's really quite good. To better capture price differences on digital asset exchanges, value needs to move as quickly as possible, often across the world. Because of its unique consensus validation architecture, XRP does this nearly instantly, providing market makers and traders with a high-speed vehicle to move their funds from exchanges to exchange. XRP's speed not only allows it to capture more price differences between exchanges, it also reduces the exposure to various risks involved in those arbitrage trades. So, again, a couple of notes to make here. This explanation is about why XRP is so good for arbitrage trading, but also why it is so freaking solid for cross-border payments. It's a little bit of a both in one little step. But to focus on arbitrage trading here, what you're basically doing is, all right, you're seeing a deviation in the price of a certain something on exchanges. For example, if Bitcoin were at $10,000 exactly on one exchange, but at $9,500 on another exchange, What you would do is you would buy on the one exchange and sell on the other exchange, depending on what options there are. You could also just theoretically buy or long and short on different exchanges to make this money, but hopefully you get the idea here. You could also buy it on the one exchange, send it over to the other exchange, and then sell it. Or the other way around, you sell it on one exchange, which is then short, and you buy it on the other exchange to make it even out. It just depends on exactly what option you want to go for, what name you want to give it. It's basically the same thing. And this is really the best contender for it now because it's ridiculously speed. It's ridiculously fast. It's almost instant in settlement. So what else do you need, right? What else is there that would be better? Really kind of nothing. It's just ridiculously fast and almost instantly authenticating itself. Several of the over 130 exchanges where XRP is listed have noted this global payments use case and taken action. From North America to Asia, they've listed XRP as a base currency to be paired with fiat currencies and other digital assets in trading. And that number is only going to get more and more and more, but we also need that to be more to get ODL everywhere across the world. And that's something I've told you guys before. I don't personally know exactly when they're going to get all the pairs out and what the requirements are for ODL to work with a certain exchange with fiat pairs. Like, for example, can they work with Binance US just like that? And can they work with, for example, some other exchanges out there where XRP can already be traded to base pairs? Like, can they do something with them? Or is it only when the official partnership between Ripple and them is made? Because theoretically, if you can use XRP on the exchange with fiat pairs, then you could kind of ODL it yourself, right? Just thinking about it. That's just a little food for thought. In a recent post, BitTrue CEO Chris Wang shared his company's decision to move XRP. To quote, XRP's use case makes it both practical and scalable, so it made sense for our business to focus on it, recalled Wang. As more people turn to RippleNet's ODL service for faster, cheaper global payments, BitTrue will grow alongside the increasing use of XRP. We took a chance on centering our platform around the asset and are now benefiting from a fully integrated part of the XRP community. Low cost, extremely speedy, and really, really good overall. And also a fun little plug at the end here. If you're a financial institution and you want to use ODL, contact them. It's a shameless little plug right there, which is, pretty damn cool for me to see. XRP Army's cost basis per coin is 138, 7 times the current price. And having said that, make sure you press the like button because you're helping me out. And we're like 8 minutes into the video, so if you haven't done it already, why not, right? So just press the like button and subscribe. Now, according to Messari's realized cap figures, XRP token holders paid an average of 7 times the current price. This was the topic of yesterday. I discussed briefly in my video why it's not really bad for anybody to be in the losses and why we'll most likely get out the losses soon and you really shouldn't worry about it at all and yada yada yada, why you should have a long-term strategy in place, yada yada yada. But still, for some people, they didn't believe me. They were like, XRP is the worst coin out there. By far, it's just ridiculously stupid, yada, yada, yada. But let me tell you guys here, it is actually not. And now one thing that a lot of people forget is that many, many people are in the exact same boat as you are. A huge amount of people are in the exact same boat. And what's even worse or even funnier is that there are a lot of different coins out there where people are actually in a even more of a deficit than they are with XRP at this current point. For example, here you can see right at the bottom here, you can see Walton Chain, Populous, Cash, Funfair, Stellar. All these coins are having people at worse positions than they are going on with XRP right now. Because you can see here the percentages, they don't lie. People are, even worse off with those coins, and trust me when I say that those are quite popular as well. Now, here they're saying, or the crypto analyst explained, the atypical metric has some disadvantages. Neither realized cap nor its derivative estimated cost bases are perfect, and there's no guarantee that a crypto asset investor base will behave a particular way depending on its estimated cost basis. However, to the degree these estimates are generally accurate, and they do provide interesting insights into how investors may behave. And as I guess a data scientist or econometrician, you would really love these numbers. It's really interesting to see, and it's really also really exciting to see what you can predict with all of this, because you're seeing people's behavior. You're already starting to see a little bit of a pattern in how people buy this type of stuff and what they might do in the future, and what type of things they might react to, and what type of variables play a role in exactly how they end up in such a high and stupid position. But again, as I said before, this whole cost basis per coin, it could also be that 90% of y'all are not in that bracket. It could be. You haven't told me in the comment section. I don't recommend you guys to do it either. But I don't know about it. I don't know how many people are really in that bracket, because most people I talk to have an average price of about 50 cents or so when I talk to them. And thus, I'm kind of wondering if this is accurate for most of the community members, or really just because of some outliers with some big billionaires buying at stupid spots and some stupid movements of people who don't watch XRP and don't really update themselves daily. If that's also a big part of this. This alarming 50% stock market crash warning may leave Bitcoin in dust. Bitcoin risks plunging lower in 2020 as a Wall Street veteran warns about a 50% crash in the stock market. Scott Minard, the chief investment officer of New York-based Guggenheim Investments, predicted that the U.S. equities would retest their March 23rd lows by next month. A long squeeze on Wall Street could prompt investors to dump their profitable Bitcoin positions to offset their macro losses. Yeah, it's something to think about, to be completely honest with you guys. It is something to think about. I've told you guys before, there is an interesting correlation between the stock market and Bitcoin, and we really don't know exactly how that's going to be changing once a big stock market dump comes along. There's so many different scenarios that could pull through. It could be that stock prices fall, people want something safer or something that could hedge against it all. They're going to go for Bitcoin like they go with gold, like a safe haven. Could also be stock markets fall and people are just not feeling, anything speculative, and they sell Bitcoin as well. Could be stock prices fall, so people sell their Bitcoin to get more stocks for the return up. Could also be stock prices fall and people buy a ton of Bitcoin out of their stock money, to possibly just make sure that the stocks don't lose them more, and they go for Bitcoin because that might be the savior. It could also be that they invest because of monetary policy or because they think the US dollar is falling apart. It could also be the contrary, though. They think the US dollar and the economy is falling apart, so they don't want anything to do with dollars, and they just want things you can touch, like, for example, a house. On the contrary, houses may fall as well, where people will think differently once more. It's so speculative. It's such a crazy time where we don't know how Bitcoin will react to any of these things because it hasn't really happened before. Bitcoin came after the big crash, and thus, if another big crash were to come, we really don't know how people will react to it. If they will buy or sell. Bitcoin whales transferred 240,000 Bitcoin in just an hour. $2.2 billion without a single bank involved and for almost no cost. And that is just crazy, in my personal opinion. This much money is being moved as we speak, and there's no price to be paid. Theoretically, they could do it for $1 each time if they wanted to. It's just really crazy. But yes, as I told you guys earlier a couple days ago, the amount of addresses holding, I guess, just significant amounts of Bitcoin, but also smaller portions of Bitcoin, has been increasing ridiculously hard and ridiculously much. Here we can see the number of addresses holding 0.1 plus coins just reached an all-time high of 3.07 million, and a previous all-time high of 3.072. Yeah, it's just a little bit higher. It's just a little bit higher of yesterday, I'm assuming. It's just like a very small part. Or are they talking about the same day? This is kind of stupid. Why are they using two different numbers here? Previous all-time high on June 19th. Right now it's June 19th. And if it just hit an all-time high, then it's still talking about June 19th, right? So that's kind of stupid. But all right, I guess they just mean this is the new all-time high, 3.073 million. Yeah, 3.073 million. That's a huge amount. Invest in Bitcoin and steer clear of XRP. Veteran trader Peter Brandt offers his advice to millennials. Legendary trader reveals what percent of their net worth millennials should keep in Bitcoin. He went over to Twitter to say that you should invest at least 10% of your net worth to improve your financial situation, and to quote, "I will give you the same advice I give my X-Gen children and M-Gen nephews and nieces. Buy a home, any home, but get into the housing market. Work 2 jobs if you need to. Invest 10% of what you can afford in Bitcoin, and invest monthly in quality tech and value stock ETFs." So to a certain extent, he has a point where you should diversify a lot and you should minimize your risk. But as a person who talks about this every single day, yeah, I mean he does too, but as a person who talks about it every day, I have a different opinion. My opinion is this strategy works mostly if you're a risk-averse, a really risk-averse trader, because you're going to go for kind of the safe bet. And also if you're kind of a conservative trader where you're going more for, I want to, become a what is it called now? A house guy. What's it called? Real estate person. I just want to have multiple houses and whatnot, yada, yada, yada. But those things are really most beneficial when you're already at a newer stage of wealth, when you've already accumulated yourself quite a lot of money, and this is a better option for you. If you're really in the lower ends, you're working with your $2,000 a month, and you really have only like $5,000 saved, it's going to be almost impossible for you to get to that stage or whenever you want it to be. Well, unless you have, plans for 60 years, it's going to be really difficult to make it big in a short amount of time. And that's why we, the guys who really like to go for crypto, I guess, invest more in crypto, because it's speculative a little bit more. It's a lot more risky, a lot more volatile. But the profit potential is also a lot higher, and it doesn't take years and years to see any results like with real estate most of the time. And also, we're kind of hoping that when this crash comes and real estate kind of takes the hit, that our Bitcoin is going to be doing good. And same for these tech and value stock ETFs. Even though, of course, ETFs are most likely, if you're going to go for any of those strategies, you're most likely filled with inverse correlated ones where most of the time you're going to be golden. If a big recession hits or a big crash comes along, might be that those get hit as well. Could definitely be so. And you want to kind of prepare yourself with Bitcoin, possibly. Bitcoin's declining dominance could set off alt season. The price of Bitcoin remained consolidated over the past few weeks. The digital asset has been returning 27% year to date, and has been walking a tight rope. And one of the things I'm wondering is really when or whether we're going to be reaching $10,000, or if it's not going to be coming along. And all this type of stuff, like talking about the dominance and such things, are basically just bullcrap, because, well, looking at the dominance here for the last month, the biggest fluctuation here is between 67 and 65, which I don't think matters for shit. And thus, I don't worry about it or care for it too much at all. Crypto Map unveils real-world interest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and 7 more altcoins. And I'm going to cut the slack. I'm just going to give you guys the numbers here. Litecoin, 4.7%. Bitcoin Cash, 2.7%. IOTA, 2.5%. Monero, 2.1%. Tron, 1.8%. Dogecoin, 1.8%. Cardano, 1.5%. And of course, the top 3. Bitcoin is followed by Ethereum with a 13.7% share, and Ripple's native token XRP at 7.7%, which is a pretty big number if you ask me. But using data from Google Trends, the website says Bitcoin, the largest crypto by market cap, remains by far the most searched coin around the globe with a dominance of 80.8%. And I'm kind of wondering how exactly this is coming along as well. How this is coming along. Like, social presence, I would say that Bitcoin and XRP are really kind of on par. If you tweet Bitcoin and you tweet XRP, there's a higher chance of a XRP tweet getting the amount of likes, right? But on the contrary, there's many more people talking about Bitcoin than about XRP. But still, the Twitter presence from XRP Army is just ridiculously huge. Now, a little bit lower, you're also seeing some numbers about what countries are at the top, but again, I don't really think that's important. We know about a lot of these countries and how they are with crypto. some cool things to maybe look at for yourself, but I don't think it is important at all. This happened right on the cusp of Black Thursday. Will Bitcoin price crash again? Well, according to data provided by on-chain analytics Glassnode, Bitcoin's realized cap has just reached a new all-time high. That type of stuff again. Maybe I'll talk about it in my next video once more, and a little bit more about Cardano and whatnot in my other video coming out later today as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. Don't forget to do that. It's really, really important, so you don't miss out on any important crypto news. And also make sure you press the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys again in another daily crypto video. Take care, everybody, and have a very, very nice day.